most recent memory of you, Grandpa, was right after I graduated from high school, and I was taking pictures with everyone, and then it was your turn. You had turned and whispered to me and said, "You don't look any smarter." I also remember you saying that you hoped you would be able to visit all of the grandkids at their colleges. You said that I was the only one left. Now I couldn't tell if you were joking or if you genuinely forgot about Talon. Either way, Grandpa, I've always admired and appreciated your sense of humor. Thank you for always making me laugh and sometimes even roll my eyes. Love you, Grandpa, and happy birthday.
Hey, Gramps. Happy birthday from your youngest grandkid. My favorite memory of you would probably be all the times you took me to the Denver Zoo when I was younger. Those are always my favorite parts of visiting Denver. Hope to see you out there when I'm in college.
Hi, Grandpa. Happy 90th birthday. So happy I'm able to come out to Denver next weekend to celebrate it with you all the way from Boston. My favorite memory with you was in 8th grade when you took me and my best friend on my first ever Caribbean cruise. This definitely started my love for traveling. This cruise showed me that there are many different cultures and places to see other than the United States. And I thank you for sharing this experience with me and for sharing your love of traveling with me. You've inspired me to travel to other places in order to see other cultures and eat new food. Another thing that I really learned from you is that you can nap anywhere, anytime. I've noticed that you've started to share this talent. You've shared this talent with your 2 sons, especially my dad. This is a skill I hope to acquire in the future, as I know it will be a key to my success. I love you, Grandpa. Happy birthday, and I'll see you soon.
Happy birthday, Uncle Gil. Sadly, I cannot attend for your celebration, but the more attractive members of the family are there in my stead. I wanted to thank you so much for always being an anchor of family in an ocean of separation. Growing up, all of my cousins, aunts, uncles, grandparents were all located in California, and you were our vestige of family close to home. Your home was always open to us. We always got to enjoy great adventures with you. Lake Powell, driving through the mountains, taking the train from Durango to Gunnison. Just many things that I still remember to this day. Thank you for always including us with your family and making us feel welcome. Happy 90th birthday and enjoy the celebration.
Summer holidays were among my favorites. 4th of July was always spectacular, and to this day, the memories that I have of 4th of July at your house make this holiday my favorite time to celebrate. The adults would gather around the stage in your backyard, which was that small, tiny little patch of grass surrounded by all of your vegetables. And as children, Patricia, Andrew, and I would dance with carefree joy, wielding sparklers like Broadway performers, dancing to the delight of our audience. I danced with abandon, feeling like I was the most beautiful dancer in the world, because when I looked at you, I saw sparkles of joy in your eyes. I knew that I was a princess to you. The sparklers were never ending. The pleasure was celebrated by both children and adults. The cool of the evening was inviting, and the stars would fight their way through the glow of the city streetlights. I would whirl and twirl to the cadence of a soundtrack resonating in my head. I was listening to Like a Prayer by Madonna. I'm not sure what you were listening to. This experience, among many others, were foundational to who I have become today. Other times, while adults would gather around an ornately carved coffee table, which I'm pretty sure featured Thai men abusing elephants. I could be wrong. We children were told to behave, to sit quietly and listen. And when we could no longer take it, our mother banished us to the back room, where we, with delight, would sneak into that back bathroom and look at vintage Playboys stacked ever so carefully on the back of that toilet with the foam cushy pad on it. Sometimes they were even in sequential order by date, increasingly getting more inappropriate. Needless to say, I benefited from the laughter with my siblings over the perceived wrongdoing, while alternately receiving lessons on adult anatomy. The meals at your house were always delicious, homegrown, home-cooked, made from scratch, and absolutely disgusting to all of us children. Sometimes, if we were lucky, KFC was ordered. But despite the amazing homegrown nutrition, we kids would always sneak around the back side of the kitchen and eat some of that delicious, raw, unhydrated, textured vegetable protein, because of course it was better than Jean's amazing cooking. Okay, and finally, when all else failed, we would make our way and our adventures down to the basement of your house. It was so scary. We would run past the door of the basement, not to get caught by whatever creatures may have lived down there. But as we got older and braver, we went down and found a myriad of amazing treasures. The damp, musty basement was a shop of horrors, weird noises, and caches of excellent discoveries, like mountains of vintage Mad magazines. Occasionally, we would beg to have beef jerky from the Cuban Missile Crisis stores, but never in our wildest dreams did we believe that one day that whole labyrinth of goodies would be cleared out of the way to make space for the largest GoPro operation in Arapahoe that Arapahoe County would allow. I mean, seriously, Mad magazines and vegetable proteins is what we got? Ah! I want to hang out in your basement now. What the heck, Gil? Thank you so much for loving me so well and so long and investing in who I am as a perfect person. I love you. Happy birthday.
Uncle Gil, I have so many memories of you in my childhood. I remember driving from our house to yours, and it seemed like so far away. And there was this art installation in Denver, and it looked like a giant French fry. And so when we saw that, we knew we were close to your house. I could have dug for hours in your garden. You had the best earthworms. And I loved to take them home. You and Aunt Jean made the best squash soup I've ever had. And your basement was fabulous, filled with all kinds of treasures. I thank you for the time that I spent in living in your house with you guys while I was going to school and working through some of the hardest times in my life. I appreciate you and I love you.
Happy birthday. Just want to say, there's no single memory that I can come up with. I thought of so many different things. Temple Buell, going to Ken Haroof, seeing opera at the movie theater. Hot Rise at the Botanic Gardens. Bringing our friends and your friends and our family all to your grapevine-lined patio. Best summers, best activities. 4th of July fireworks with the kids running around with sparklers, just everything, everywhere. You're integrated in our life story, and I can't imagine life without you. And so I wish you a happy birthday, and look forward to seeing you.
Happy birthday, Gil. Let me start with the most humorous moment that I remember. We're standing in your kitchen. I guess I'm on the ladder. You're down below. We cut a hole in the ceiling for the skylight, and we're standing there looking up at the sky, and you said, "I guess we're committed now." So that was the most humorous moment for me. My memories are of you as a friendly guy who shares what he has with others and weaves them into your life, and I appreciate the way that you've done that with myself and my family.
Hi, Gil.
Hey, Gil.
Happy birthday.
Happy 90th.
That's a great birthday. I hope you're enjoying it. I hope you're loving your families and friends around you. We're with you with our spirits, but not physically, but we send you a lot of love and wish you the best.
Absolutely, and we were just talking about our over 20 years of knowing you and all the discussions about France, Piaget, wine with Jean, wonderful, wonderful memories. And I guess what stuck out for us the most was the trip to France, where you and Jean and Melanie, the boys, came over, and we did some hiking in the Alps. We went to Paris as well, if you remember, Sainte-Chapelle. We went to a great concert there, and then down south to Saint-Maxime. It was a wonderful, wonderful trip. So sharing those memories with you again. And to commemorate that, we have French Manet pictures behind us and American mayonnaise. So on that note, have a great party today, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Hello, Gil. It's Michelle, your daughter-in-law. I'm so sorry I'm not able to be with you for this important milestone. Before hearing of it, I had already signed up and paid for 3 days of classes in Santa Clara. So I do want you to know that I have only the best wishes and love for you. You've been a terrific father-in-law, and I'm sure will continue to be. My favorite memory is when I first married Warren. I was very unaccustomed to large groups of people since I was an only child. And when we were in Colorado, you stayed behind the big group with whom we went to the ski resort, and you tried to teach me to ski on a tiny, tiny slope. And I was petrified of how fast the skis were going on the tiny slope. But you were so patient and smiled the whole time. So I'm sending you lots of smiles. Love from Michelle.
Hey Grandpa, happy 90th birthday. So Michael's requested that we bring up our favorite memory with you. And naturally, the first thing that came to my mind was when you and Jean first took me to Connecticut to hang out with Nicholas, Michael, and Aunt Mel. It's one of my greatest memories, and as you know, I went back almost every year up until the end of high school, so definitely those trips to Connecticut were one of my favorite memories with you and Grandma Jean, as well as with Nicholas, Michael, and Aunt Melanie. Anyways, we'll be hanging out with you all weekend, so I just want to say happy birthday again, and looking forward to hanging out with you in the family.
Wow, I have so many amazing memories with Grandpa, but one that sticks out was when I was 13. I went with Grandpa and my sister to Argentina. I remember walking for hours and hours with him around the city, get super lost, and have to spend so long looking at the map to find ourselves again. And it was my first time being in a place where I didn't speak the language, and having him there was amazing as a traveling companion. What struck me the most, though, was that over the course of the trip, he would literally strike up a conversation with anyone, even in a language that wasn't his first language at all. Whether it was asking for directions or talking to folks on the metro, he wouldn't hesitate in the slightest. I'll never forget this moment when we were walking through a city park late at night, and he was so curious why this person was feeding the cats that he insisted on asking them why. Like, why was this person feeding all the stray cats? Like, how many cats were there in the park? What did he feed them? My teenage self was so mortified, and honestly kind of wanted to just get back to where we were staying and play Pokemon for the night. But looking back, I can think of so many moments where Grandpa has surprised me with his ability to truly connect with anyone, and not just in a superficial passing way, but I'm honestly convinced that he could find a way to build a relationship with anyone, and it's so inspiring. So yeah, love you lots, Grandpa. Happy birthday.
Hi, Grandpa. It's your grandson Nicholas here, calling in to wish you a happy 90th birthday. I'm very excited to see you soon, along with everybody else, to celebrate your big day. Friends and relatives from all over are coming in. It should be really a fun time. In celebration of your 90th birthday, I have compiled a list of quotes and short stories that I think remind me a lot of you and the people we are closest with. So I thought I'd share these with you now. Here, let me get into my first one. The first quote that reminds me of Grandpa is, "Oh, shush." Let me use it in a sentence. "Oh, shush, Bunny. Let the kids go out and play. They're going to grow up and be role models in this here world, and they need to exercise." Well, Grandpa, I'd say that you were spot on there. I'll be sure to call you again the next time my mom scolds me about doing something that I'm not doing. Lately, it's been texting her when it's snowing in the city, but nevertheless, I'll give you a call. Moving on to quote number 2. The term is wet blanket. Used in a sentence again, it is, "By golly, you kids are being wet blankets. It's time to eat your apples. Don't let them go to waste." Grandpa, I will admit you always knew when us millennials were complaining too much, and we were sure to set us straight. Thank you for that, as the world is not kind sometimes, and we needed to be put in a straight line, let's put it that way. So thank you. The third, and probably my favorite quote of Grandpa's, involves Nicholas as a small child and a shopping experience with Grandpa while my mom was working. Grandpa's response, which we'll get to, and brings it all full circle, is, "Oh, really? Your mom let you get those?" Okay, well, let's put it in context. Nicholas and Grandpa were shopping, and Nicholas reaches for a bag of Cheetos, to which I say, "Grandpa, can we get these?" He responds, rightfully so, "Oh, really? Your pediatrician mother let you get those?" I truthfully 100% respond, "Yeah, all the time." I came home with 2 bags of Cheetos that day, and Grandpa was happy to snack on them with me. My mother never lets us get those, but maybe he had a Cheeto tooth too. So anyways, those are 3 quotes of mine, stories, more phrases of Grandpa's that will always remind me of him and always bring a smile to my face. So Grandpa, a happy 90th birthday to you, and we'll see you soon. Much love from Nicholas.
Hi, Grandpa! One of my favorite memories with Grandpa was going to the lake in Minnesota every year. When Grandpa would bring all of the cousins together from all different parts of the country to all go to the lake together. I remember that you used to say that only kids were allowed because we behave better without the parents, which might have been true, but also is kind of a crazy idea to take on all of us rambunctious cousins alone. But it was definitely one of the things I most look forward to every year. And I'm really grateful for that. And also, thank you, Grandpa, for inspiring in me a love of traveling, a love of learning about new languages and cultures, and deep curiosity about the world. Un saludo grande desde Bogotá. Te quiero mucho. Feliz cumpleaños. ¡Feliz cumpleaños a ti! ¡Tu, tu, tu! feliz cumpleaños a ti. ¡Tú, tú, tú! ¡Feliz cumpleaños! ¡Te quiero!
Hello. My favorite memory is when you taught me to fish. I still remember when we were young, going to Mills Lake in Rocky Mountain National Park. We would fish the inlet river, bushwhacking our way up 1, maybe 2 miles before we realized we'd gone so far and have to work our way back. Later in junior high and high school, we used to fish Lake Nakoni, hiking in about 9 miles. The best time of year was late September. No one was around. Indian summers. It was really nice. Of course, now I'm trying to pass that on to the younger generation. I think Talon's showing some interest in fishing, but I hope he'll continue because that was really a fun time. Thanks for the lessons.
Many great memories of discussions and even arguments with my father. But one thing that particularly stands out is this time when I was in 3rd grade. I got this book on logarithms and trig tables. For some reason, it just fascinated me. I brought it home, and my father noticed that I had it and asked me why I got it. And I just said, well, it looks cool, and it seems like this is interesting. So he taught me how to use logarithms, how to multiply by adding and dividing by subtracting. And then he showed me how to use trig tables to figure out how high a tree was without climbing it and all of these things. And that just fascinated me. But the thing he showed me most of all was how to graph things. And I just fell in love with graphing and math. And I just, from then on, taught myself math. And most of the math that I learned up to college, I taught myself by reading because of the interest that I first noticed during that time. It was my father that noticed that I was interested and helped nurture that interest. I probably would have discovered math anyway, but that particular day and that series of times where he showed me what he knew about math really influenced the rest of my life and helped me discover one of the great passions of my life. And I'd like to thank my father for that and being an observant, caring father. Thank you so much.
Happy birthday, Daddy. Can you believe it's your 90th birthday? We wanted to do this tribute to help you remember some of the things we did and that we did with you. And I remember so many things about my childhood, going to every state in the country except Washington and Alaska. You haven't taken me there yet. The other thing I remember is all those Russian history movies. Of course, you remember War and Peace. I remember The Cranes Are Flying. I think I cried for a week after that until you finally told me to stop crying. But the things I remember the most, 2 things stood out. Right after I introduced you to Gregory, he leaves, you turn to look at me and you go, honey bunch, don't let that one get away. He's by far the best you've ever dated. And you know what? You were right. And the second time you said that to me was, I was looking for daycare for Nicholas. And I take you over to meet Sue Sear. We're leaving and you look at me and you said, honey, grab her. You will never find better. And again, you were right. I know that does your heart good to know that I finally recognize that you're right over many things. So happy 90th, Daddy. And I truly hope you have many more. Love
Grandpa,
you.
happy 90th birthday. I hope you're enjoying the day and you're enjoying this video tribute. When we started putting this together, we asked everybody to kind of think of one memory that stood out to them that we experienced together, that you experienced with them, and to remind you of the good times that we've had and how much you've accomplished in 90 years and how much wisdom you've portrayed on everybody that you've encountered. For me specifically, there's so many memories that we've had together, to you and Grandma Jean living with us, and you bringing me to every single sporting event. I remember one specifically, I had the worst baseball game ever, 0 for 4 at the dish, striking out 4 times. I pitched horribly, and I came home and Grandma Jean was sipping her Manhattan and she was just hugging me. "Oh, Michael, you did so well." And you didn't have the heart to tell me how bad I played, but that goes a long way for a 10-year-old kid who's trying to find his way in this world. But I've really enjoyed the times that you've taken us on all these extravagant trips. The 2-3 times a year you drive us down to Brooklyn with no hesitation. The Nevis, Minnesota trips, our Big Sky once-a-year trips, going to France, letting us come out to Denver and stay with you whenever we ask. I mean, even last year, staying with you for a week and letting me borrow your car just to go to work went a long, long way for me. And going to the Denver Broncos game. And, it really holds a dear place in my heart, the times that we've spent together. And I just hope you know how much that all us grandchildren appreciate how much you've done for us. So I really hope you enjoy this 90th birthday and you continue your healthy lifestyle. And I also want to thank you for always keeping my mom off my back. I remember a few years ago when I screwed up big time, you were in Shelton, and she was a little worried about it, but you just told her, "Hey, Bunny, don't worry about it. That one's going to be all right." So we're almost there, and it really helps me. It really helps my mom, and our family just has tremendously appreciated everything you've done for us. All the Christmases you spent with us have been second to none, and we wouldn't trade it for the world. So we love you. We hope you enjoy this video tribute, and we hope you enjoy your big day.
Thank you.